Can you see you?
Not super well, but oh well, guess I'll show up. Yeah.
I got you. Get a little extra little love here.
All right. Are we live? We live.
1, 2.
1, 2. No, actually, we're not live. Something.
Did I pull something out?
Yeah, power cord.
Huh. Without power. Huh.
What would we do without power? All right, hey everybody, tuning in.
Yeah, we thought we was ready, and then we having some technical difficulties. Pulled out the power cord. Okay.
There we go. All right, let's get this started. I'm gonna have to turn you down. You're really loud today.
Yeah, I am loud. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're like way up here.
Yeah.
This must have been like your girlfriend on this one.
No, I'll probably 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Oh man, these learning pains.
Getting it all down.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, guys. Welcome to another episode of Hardwork, Bad Decisions. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it. That's the new sign.
I like the lingo.
Yeah,
We're gonna get better at this.
Yeah. I like it. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, guys. Today we're gonna have a conversation about failure. Give me a quick second. Let me take off that sound.
Oh, the sound of the phone?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. If you're tuning in and you're looking at us from the phone, how do we sound? We sound good? Thumbs up or like or whatever.
Yeah.
Let us know if you can hear us. Okay.
Yeah. If you can't hear us, make sure to say something. All right. So let's just jump right into it, man.
Today you prefaced, do you want to talk about failure?
Yeah, failure. Yeah, failure. Will Smith video that he posted, he talked about failure. It kind of went viral. Obviously, anything that Will Smith does is going to go viral. But this really kind of hit home for me, honestly, and people don't understand how important it is to fail.
Mm. Yeah, it seems like everyone that I talk to, especially like in entrepreneurial land, is so afraid of failing.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons. Financial would be a huge one, or just the pride hit that you'll take.
Yeah.
By having to admit to your friends and family that you failed at something.
Yeah, I tell people that the biggest secret to success is failure. It really is, man, because when you able...
Thanks, Dylan.
The man, yeah. We got to work on that, because I know some people be making comments, and I'm looking at you while talking, and then I can't, look at the comment, because...
think of it this way. You talk, I'll be MC, and I'll read. If somebody makes a comment on here, I'll be watching for that.
Okay.
All right. So you just talk, and then I'll kind of interject with...
I guess I do what I do best, which is just, ramble. But, I have learned more from my failures than I've learned from my success. And when people really understand what failure is, then they wouldn't be afraid of it. They would embrace it, because they know with failure is going to come more wisdom. It's going to come more experience. And not everybody is super lucky to just be perfect all the time.
So to give people context, what kind of failures are you talking about?
Okay.
Is it in life? Is it in the gym? Is it on the big stage when you're in a fight? Or is it just everything in between? What's some examples?
I could be super general and just say life, but let's give an example so people can have a visual. Okay, let's just say fighting, right? Because that'd be the easiest thing for me to talk about.
Yeah.
There are very few undefeated fighters, and even the fighters that was or are undefeated, they lost to something. Maybe it was training, sparring sessions. Maybe it was amateur competitions, when it was younger. But to go undefeated in everything when it comes to combat sports is very difficult, if not impossible. But talking about fighting, my losses made me a better fighter. It made me adapt. It made me go back and change things. It made me look at myself and say, where am I weak at and where am I strong at? And then I was able to address those issues.
So how did you have the fortitude to actually burst through that? Did you get mentorship and saying like, hey, don't worry about this failure, learn from it kind of thing? Like, what was the thing that sparked you to know that it's okay?
Okay, well, I'll be honest with you. Coming from my background and in my upbringing and in the neighborhood, I was raised in, I was surrounded by failure. In that world, it's almost come too much of being accepted. So I'm kind of used to it. I'm kind of used to not having things and not being successful because that's what I saw most of my life. So because I've been around that, I didn't fear it. I mean, I just go back to, my old neighborhood. I don't really care, I lived that. Mm-hmm. So in my fights, the thing that I really stress for myself mentally is that I realized that although I fight, and that's a sport or the job that I did, that wasn't me. Mm-hmm. I have a bigger life. Like at the time I was married, I had kids that loved me, I had friends that loved me. So regardless if I won or lost that fight, I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna be Gilbert Jamal Smith. I'm still gonna be Daddy. I'm still gonna be those things. Mm-hmm. It may hurt my career, but I'm not gonna take away from the man that I am just because I lost the fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that made me strong mentally to able to embrace the situation. I'm gonna tell you something that somebody said a long time ago, and I wish I could remember who said it. It's like, when you able to embrace the worst case scenario, that's when you really can fight with a free heart. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, tell me this though, you still fear failure.
Yeah. Correct. Of course.
Yeah. So what's the difference between fearing failure and then when it happens, the acceptance of it?
Okay. So
Oh wait, hold on. Before you answer that, if you guys are listening in and want to ask Gilbert anything, just chime in and I'll interject that when there's a freak moment.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, the fear of failure, it keeps you hungry. It keeps you training. I give a perfect example, man. I'm living my life. I'm training. I'm having a good day. My manager or my coach calls me and says, "Hey, we got to fight for you." I'm like, okay. I'm already nervous. I hate that phone call. I love it and hate it because I want to fight. But then when they tell me I got to fight, then I'm like, oh my God, it's real. It's real. It's going to happen. There's no turning around. I don't want to say no. Okay. So then they tell me who it is. And then I look the dude up and there's always some beast, some strong guy, I got this, that has a little bit of, he's a threat. So that fear, it kind of sets in. But what it does for me, it makes me work hard. Because I'm thinking in my head that every day, the guy I'm fighting, he's training 3 times as hard as I am. So that fear keeps me accountable. Mm-hmm. Do my training sessions. When I'm tired, times I'm tired, I don't want to go train, I want to quit. That fear of losing, of being beaten up, of being embarrassed keeps me going.
Okay, tell me this, because I'm super interested in this, and I bet other people are too. When you were fighting, what did you fear more? Failing in a fight or failing as a parent or husband? Or because when you're fighting, you're so laser focused on the objective.
Yeah.
But there's another world that happens outside of that, which is the real world.
Yeah.
And what did you fear more?
That's a very complicated question. Because the fact is,
you said you want to talk about real life, right?
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I love that because the fact is that when you fail in real life, you could do do-overs. Mm-hmm. If I'm doing something with my kid and I mess up, as long as I didn't do something so drastic that, there are some things you can't do over. But if you make a mistake, maybe you said something you shouldn't have said, you did something you shouldn't have done, typically you could do a do-over, apologize, make amends and correct that action. The problem with a fight, if you fell in a fight, that's done. You can never do that over. That's on your record. Your pay got cut. That loss is going to be on your record forever, and that embarrassment of having to crawl out of that hole, because every time you lose one fight, you have to win 3 to 4 fights, to make up for one loss. Mm-hmm. So, it's very hard to compare and contrast, almost comparing apples to oranges. But if I had to break it down, and separate the two. Failing in life, okay, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
We're human. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be perfect. There's no way I'm going to be a perfect boyfriend, a perfect father, a perfect coach, or just a perfect person. I'm going to do things that's going to make other people mad. I'm going to do things that are going to make myself mad. But I have to accept that and realize that I'm not perfect, and I can make corrections. I can learn from those things. So the problem is when you're not willing to learn.
Mm.
That's when failure becomes a problem.
See, I think we see that a lot too with like victim mentality.
Yeah.
A lot of people get, and it's real easy to blame external sources.
You are absolutely correct, because what will happen is this: if I failed at something and I don't accept the responsibility, then I'm never going to make a change. Because I'm going to say I failed because of that person. I wasn't successful because of that person. You know, I didn't win because of that person, because the coaches wasn't there for me. You know, my opponent did this and said this, or the promoter, you know, kind of set me up for this or that, whatever the case may be. That's one thing I love about combat sports, is that if you're real with yourself, when you're dealing with combat sports, it's usually one-on-one. And because of that, I can't blame the next guy. If I'm playing basketball, and I could be like, man, we lost because, you know, the point guard, he didn't pass me the ball. The center, he wasn't, controlling the paint. You know, or the coach wasn't, whatever it can be. Football, same thing. The quarterback didn't pass me the ball, or whatever, the receivers wasn't getting open, whatever the case may be. But in combat sport, it's one-on-one, man. And when we step into the cage, we step into the ring, we step on the mat. Like, I got nobody else to blame. It's like, I gotta have it, or I either have it or I don't have it. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of combat sports. But in life, if you can just accept what happened and do some self-reflection and understand that, okay, I wasn't successful. Okay, I went out there, I tried this, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? How can we make adjustments? Sometimes you got to scratch the whole thing and start over with something completely new. Or sometimes you just make little small adjustments, come back, try it again, and then boom, you are successful.
Yeah. Real quick.
Yeah.
So if you guys are just tuning in and you're watching on Gilbert's or my page, one of the things I want to ask you guys to do is share this content with your friends. Right now we're sitting here talking about failure in life and the stuff that we learn from it. So I think it's pretty valuable stuff. But if you guys got any input of failures that you've had in your life and in the lessons that you kind of learned for it and how you overcame it, feel free to share it in the comments section, and we'll give you a shout out. And but keep on listening in, and feel free to share this all with your friends.
Yeah. I think this is a topic that almost anybody can relate to.
Oh yeah.
You know, and everybody probably have their own personal philosophy on how to deal with failure. The problem is that when people, like, I have fighters here, and I think I just ran into the situation with one of my guys I was training with. And, you know, he was grappling and he wasn't very successful. He was having a hard time dealing with the fact that basically he was getting his butt whipped for 5 minutes. You know,
he didn't like that. Huh?
Yeah, no, he didn't like it. He's like, man, you know, this is why I'm losing, and that's why I'm losing. I'm like, no, bro, you're losing because the other guy is just better. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Better prepared, better fitness, whatever.
Yeah. He's just better. He's more experienced. He got more technique. He's been training longer. Whatever the case may be. A lot of times I tell people, you got good defense, but he was just better offense. Mm. Okay, so sometimes when you lose things, it doesn't take away from who you are. It's just the circumstances, and you have to realize that. Okay, now once you realize that, then you can say, okay, he's better. Why is he better? What techniques do he have that I need to learn? Where are my holes and my weaknesses? And then you grow from that. Mm-hmm. So it's a process.
Yeah. Well, and I think that translates everywhere. And Brian, love your attitude towards fear. That's awesome.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is applicable, it's not just in just fighting world, but life in general too. Like, I went through a failure here recently that I would consider a failure.
Yeah.
And that was in business and entrepreneurship. Yeah. I had a partnership that I should have done more homework on, listened to my gut decision. There's a million different factors that would have gone into it, but at the end of the day, it failed.
Yeah.
It was a failure.
Yeah.
And the one thing that actually I got real down on it, real negative for a couple of days there, But I had some really great friends who...
Support system.
Yeah, who that support system pretty much smacked me upside the head and said, why are you sulking around? You failed. Okay, pick yourself up and keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do after? Okay, so you got the before, the during, the after, right? When it comes to failure, okay. Sometimes the before you could like see the red flags and you could make adjustments before you run into these pitfalls. Okay, that's the best case scenario when it comes to failure. Right?
Yeah.
No, like you see, like okay, hold on. This ain't going right. I already could see that this is not going to be successful. Maybe somebody tell you because you go out there and you get expert opinions, friends' opinions, or maybe you could just see the writing on the walls and you make adjustment, and then you could and then things get better. Okay, that's great. Then you got the doing, like it's happening and it's going on and things are going bad. It's just like the stock market, right? You buy a stock and you see the stock diving on you, and you keep saying to yourself, "I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hold on."
And you're so right. This is where most people make those like rash decisions, like last minute, like a decision out of fear, if you will.
Well, I mean, because stock markets, like, I lost a lot of money in the stock market. 2009, 2010, I was one of those guys that lost thousands of dollars in the stock market.
So, did you make that freak decision to sell off?
I did.
Right.
I did. But I mean, I made every possible bad decision you could make in investments. I kept the companies that went under, and I sold on the companies that recovered.
Nice. Way to go.
Yeah, exactly. I was lost all around, complete failure.
Oh.
And that's why my boy, he keeps telling me about Bitcoin. I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to.
Okay, hold on. Don't even get me started. Let me story time real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2009, this sounds super nerdy because I'm a little bit of a nerd, but in 2009, I was part of an internet forum that talked about different like RPG games out there. And in this forum, these guys started talking about Bitcoin and how we should all go in and buy the Bitcoin. And my buddies in this forum offered me, it was 2,000 Bitcoin when it was going for a price of 10 cents each.
Yeah.
You look at the price today, and there's no way to know, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
But you look at it and it's like $15,000 of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I look at that and I'm like, I'm disgusted with myself.
I mean, it happens, man, and obviously we can have a long conversation on Bitcoin. Maybe that should be a topic one day.
Right?
Because we could talk about this. My boy Sean, he put me onto it, and I did a lot of research about Bitcoin. But getting back to the stock market, it's like the failures I had in that taught me about investment, and it taught me about there's no quick way to get rich. Because I was thinking, if I buy GM, right? GM been around since World War II. It was being bailed out by the government. There's no way this company is going to go under. Yeah, the stock's really cheap. It's the best time to buy. It's going to recover. The government is supporting it. There's no way this company is going to go under.
Yep.
Okay? What did they do? They took the government money and still went bankrupt.
Yep.
And when they went bankrupt, that means they could restructure the company and start over, but the shareholders get zero. Okay, so I got nothing. But if you look at GM now, it's a viable, successful company.
Yeah, they turned it around.
They turned it around. But for me, I've lost thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, but the mistake I made was this: I didn't do my research.
Was it easy to blame other people or circumstances?
No, because okay, so I was in Iraq, and
so you were in the military?
No, I was actually civilian contracting when this happened. And so I was making decent money. I was making actually some really decent money, and most of it was tax free. Because I was in Baghdad, Iraq. I was in Camp Victory. That's where Victory MMA came from. So the guy I was working with, he was investing a lot, and he was schooling me, and I was kind of just listening to what he was saying. But what I didn't do is did my own research. I saw some numbers. I thought, 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, the stocks go down. You buy low, you sell high. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and this company's going to recover. It's been around since World War II. The government's bailing it out. It's going to do better. So I invested a lot of money into it, and it went under. It went bankrupt. I did not have a good understanding of the financial situation of GM. And there's other companies I did it too. But I'm picking GM because that's more widely known.
You lost thousands, yeah.
Yeah, I lost, and if I'd have did more research, so now the lesson I learned from that failure, okay, there's no quick way to get rich. You have to put in hard work. You have to be dedicated. You have to respect the art, no matter what it is, no matter if it's fighting, no matter if it's investment.
That statement right there, the one thing that annoys me so much is when someone says, "Oh, that person's just lucky."
Yeah.
Or wow, look at them, they just blew up overnight. And you're like, yeah, what about the 7 years that built up to that moment?
And all the failures. I mean, if you think about all the billionaires, right? You think about like somebody like Bill Gates. I mean, he didn't start out being a billionaire, and all the things he had to go through to make Microsoft such a powerhouse. Mm-hmm. How many failures he ran through?
Well, think of it this way. Like even a recent example is Facebook. Okay, so Facebook. Didn't start out how it's great as it was, right? It started out on college campuses.
Yeah.
But even today, they're testing constantly, and they take failures and they put it into a document of things not to do again. But at any one point in time, there's like 10,000 versions of Facebook running, because the engineers are allowed to take an idea and test it against the market, and they'll test it with a test group of like 10,000 to 50,000 people, and they'll analyze the data of how that iteration of Facebook did, and if it didn't work out, it goes into that file, and if it does work out okay, then they expand the test even further. And that to me is crazy.
I mean, but that's the way business works, right?
Yeah, embracing failure.
Yeah, and another really great example is, probably to me is one of the biggest examples, is Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, I can't remember what grade it was, but he was trying out for the basketball team.
His high school. Yeah. Sophomore year high school.
Yeah, and the coach cut him.
Yeah.
The coach cut Michael Jordan. But of course, at the time, he wasn't Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you got to imagine how bad he was to be cut. And you have to imagine the coach who now looks at it like, God, I'm the one that cut Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan would tell you, if he never got cut from that team, he never would have went home, would have been embarrassed, and then would have been frustrated and mad that he came back to train his butt off to make the team the next year and kept training and become the Michael Jordan that we know today. Mm-hmm. That story is a perfect example of how you take a failure and turn it into a success. It's important to do that, to go back and realize, yeah, I wasn't as good as I thought I was, but it doesn't mean that I still can't be great. I just need to work a little bit harder, or maybe a lot harder. I love that, man. I love that.
Maricel said, learning to jump into the waters of the unknown is one of the hardest things, but we need to embrace and appreciate that, because this year's, that is one of my goals. Yeah, the fear of the unknown, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, last year, what was it last year? I think it was 2016. This gym was owned by another person, and I had the opportunity to buy it out, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, because I was kind of working for him, so to speak, or at least I was renting space from him. And I was like, you know what? I could buy this place out. But man, if I buy this place out, I mean, all the responsibilities on me. Rent is on me, utilities on me, making sure all the classes are going, just everything is on me.
Okay, so this is so you had investing, right, as a vehicle to create income, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And then you're talking about a plan A, like solo, like entrepreneurship type business. You're a business owner.
Yeah.
And the amount of actual little expenses that go into running a business, I had no idea until I actually opened the doors and started running everything, and then we ran the books that first month. I'm like, there's like an extra $2,000 in expenses here that I didn't even consider.
Oh my God. I didn't realize how many people use toilet tissue. I'll bet how much toilet tissue get used. Like, seriously, God, every day I feel like I'm going out buying more toilet tissue. I mean, just the simple things, Did
you call it toilet tissue?
Yeah, toilet tissue. What is it called?
I don't know. I call it toilet paper. I don't know.
Really call it toilet paper?
Yeah, we said toilet tissue. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, like, wait. I call it toilet tissue.
Wait, do you guys call it toilet paper or toilet tissue or something else?
It's two types of people. It's people that call it toilet paper, people that call it toilet tissue. I like toilet tissue. I don't know. That's interesting.
But yeah, people use it a lot.
Yeah. People use it a lot. And but I had to jump into the unknown. I said, man, if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it right. And not only that, I had to invest a lot of money to buy new equipment, to change around the gym. You know, the person that actually inspired me to like just go all out and just spend the money, and then I knew it was gonna come back to me. I just believed in it.
Who?
Conor McGregor.
Really?
Yeah. I said that I'm gonna have to Conor McGregor this because at the time Conor McGregor was going all out. He was spending money. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna enjoy, you know, my success. And so like he doesn't like hold back, man. And like and he goes all out in almost everything he does. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna Conor McGregor this, and I'm gonna go buy the new equipment. I'm gonna go buy the fancy equipment. I'm gonna go buy the fancy bags. I'm gonna go buy the the stuff that the members. And I was smart about it. I wasn't just spending money to spend money, but I want stuff that's gonna make my gym stand out from other gyms.
Well, actually, your gym is like a hidden gem of this area, man. When I come to here, I was like, I wonder what his gym's gonna look like. And I walk in and I was like, this is a nice place.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the first impression I got.
Yeah, me and my business partner Carlos, we put a lot of work into this to make this as viable, as functional as possible. There's always room for improvement, but so far, man, we've been doing very well. But it required me to step out there, you know, and dig into my pockets and invest. You know, and I just felt like, you know how, what's that movie, with the baseball movie, if you build it, they will come.
Oh, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, yeah. There it is. I was like, if I build this place out, people will come. And
you know what it was though, right? It was the infrared sauna.
Infrared sauna. Yeah, the infrared sauna. Yeah, you know, people like the sauna. I mean, this gym, I just have so many different things that people can come and use, and everybody gravitate to different portions of the gym that worked well for them. So I'm happy I'm able to, you know, just make a lot of different people happy.
Marty says I'm with you, Mac. And someone else said toilet paper as well.
Oh, wow.
Tissue makes sense.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm just going to start calling it toilet paper. I guess it is toilet paper. I don't know why I started saying toilet tissue.
Yeah, it was TP. I don't know.
You're right. You're right. It is toilet paper. I don't know why I said toilet tissue. That's funny. That's real funny. But hey guys, I'm learning.
Yeah. Well, hey, we have our mannerisms. Right?
Yeah. So failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back on topic.
Yeah. I'm learning. So now, to make myself more, so I don't sound too stupid, and I'm going to call it toilet paper. Thank you for teaching.
You know, I'm glad I could teach you one thing today.
Yeah.
Not anything about failure, just toilet paper.
Yeah. So, now, also, could we talk about a little bit of investment? We talk a little bit about, you know, professional life, be it business, running a business, or even fighting. What about relationships?
Ooh.
You know, failures in relationships.
Actually, so I've been with my wife for 13 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we've been together for 13 and married for 7.
Okay.
And through that whole time, there's been a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, of course.
She's the sweetheart, and I'm the one that always messes it up.
Yeah.
But I feel
always seem like that. It's always seemed like guys messes up. Like,
I don't want it the other way around.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You want to be the one messing up, not her. I get it. I get it.
But through it all, man, like I feel like relationships are like a tango of failure and then overcoming, and because there's always that one thing where I get sometimes so laser focused and self-absorbed in my world that I fail to consider her and her feelings. Yeah. And by a product of that, she gets her feelings hurt. You know, I mess up there constantly.
You're an asshole. Complete asshole.
Complete asshole, man.
Douchebag.
I don't think of her, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna tell you a key element, and this is very typical, very general, but a key element, and I'm gonna try to break it down a little bit deeper. I believe failures in relationships, and I was also married for 12 years, so I actually have some experience in being married, being single, day and all, everything, right? It's obviously communication. People will say that. But let's break it down a little bit deeper. I believe sometimes it's what you don't say that can cause more damage.
Elaborate.
So, for instance, if I'm feeling a certain type of way about a particular situation, but I keep it inside, I don't express. Or if I do express it, I express it in a way that's not, it's not positive. It's not going to get a good response. Like if I don't like the way you did something and I say, and I call you a name and I'm yelling at you, you're not going to respond back to me typically like, oh yeah, you're right. And sometimes the first thing you're going to do
defensive
is get defensive. Okay. So now we just arguing. Okay. And a lot of times they're arguing, nobody's hearing each other. Or, going back to the first piece, which is sometimes the things you don't say is when you have situations that you're facing, and instead of just having really great communication and conversation, we tend to keep it inside.
Yeah.
Maybe out of fear of being judged, or maybe angering the person. You're like, I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to. I don't want the person to get too mad at me, whatever the case can be. But that doesn't help the situation. Just being quiet.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that's like kind of important to you.
I'm learning as I'm getting older, and white and gray hairs starting to appear.
Yeah.
As much as sometimes those conversations are uncomfortable, like if I mess up with my wife and she's angry at me, the last thing I want to do is go talk about it, because that's going to further the stress or the anxiety or the time investment kind of like it. That sounds terrible, but it is the collection of them. That's what goes through my head.
It depends on your wife and her personality. Because some people, when they like angry, they need some space.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm a type of person that I never want to go to bed angry.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so as I'm getting older, I've learned that regardless of how I'm feeling, I need to address the issue.
Yeah.
Don't
man
let it
up,
go.
man. Man up.
Yep.
If you mess up, if she mess up, man up and address the issue. Sometimes it's very hard to bring it up, and you be like, okay, babe, I want to talk about something. but also, it has a lot to do with what's your goal. Is your goal just to tell a person you screwed up and you suck, or is your goal is to bring up the situation and find a resolution?
Oh yeah, resolution. Why it would be silly to say anything other.
Well, it's true, but like a lot of people will bring something up just to say you suck, like you pissed me off when you did this.
Yeah.
But they're not talking to find a resolution. Either you have some ideas, or you could, work together as a team and come up with ideas how to make sure that doesn't happen again.
And I'll add one thing to that is if you guys are in the middle of a discussion, and this doesn't matter if it's a business partnership or if it's a personal relationship, it's if the other person's talking, actually listen and ingest what's being said. Don't be thinking about the next retort.
Yeah. You're right, because my girlfriend would say that I'm very defensive, and she thinks I like to argue. My mother will also say that too. It was like, how come you just didn't become a lawyer? But I mean, for me, I just like to address issues, and I can't stay quiet. But I had to learn myself and how I address the issues. Because yes, I would sometimes come at it like, I just want you to know that I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And that what you did doesn't fly with me. And then my whole bravado and my whole ego comes into play. I'm like, yo, you don't do that to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm Jamal. Like, you're going to respect me.
I'm Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah, Chocolate Thunder.
But listen.
Yeah. Put some respect on my name. So, but I've learned that and I'm still learning.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly perfect. My girlfriend watched this and she's like, whatever. You still like you talking on the mic like you're all good, but
yeah.
But I've learned that sometimes if I have an issue, or the other person have an issue, bring it up, but share my side, my thoughts, but then listen.
So, do you think that this is something that comparing 20-year-old self Gilbert to 35 now?
I'm 36.
36, yeah. 36-year-old Gilbert.
Yeah. Do
you think that's an age thing? You just maturing as you get along?
Yeah. I mean, because obviously, when I was younger, I was definitely more hot-headed, and which led to more failures in relationships in all fashion, be it dating relationships or personal relationships or friendships, and things like that. Because I mean, I grew up in such a volatile environment that I'm always ready to fight.
Tell me something here. Okay, so that you brought up something that made me think of this is, are you the type of person, no matter what we're looking at, like 20-year-old you or 36-year-old you, do you learn best from mentorship from somebody that you feel is an authority or has expertise on that subject, or do you have to go through the mess to actually learn the lesson? You got to pay that price.
Well, I don't think I really had a real mentor.
Hmm.
To be honest with you.
What about today?
Huh?
Do you have a mentor today?
Do I have a mentor today?
Yeah, to keep yourself in check.
No.
Hmm.
You know, I have friends that I go to, and I respect their opinions. Like if I had a situation, I will go to my friend Dave, talk to him. Sometimes I will go talk to my girlfriend. Sometimes I go talk to even my mother or my father, or different friends, whatever the case may be. But I don't know if I have that one person I could call up and like, yo, this person always squares me away, always calms me down, always gives me the perfect. No, I don't have that. I haven't been blessed with that type.
Hold on. Any of you guys tuning in? Do you guys have that type of person in your life? I'm just curious for myself here.
Yeah.
If anyone's got a mentor that they kind of lean on, or if they just have to learn trudging through the mud, let us know.
And the truth is, I try to be that for other people, though. You know.
I can see that. I mean, people calling you coach.
Yeah.
And that's an authoritative respect.
Yeah. But they also have to be earned.
Yeah, true.
I mean, just because they call me a coach, it doesn't really make me a coach. You know, that respect has to be earned, and I believe it's earned through my passion that I put forth, the care that I put forth, and how I handle myself throughout my life.
Yeah.
Like my successes and also for my failures.
Yeah.
So, I like I said, I don't have one particular person, that I go to. But I have multiple people that I can go to when I do need that advice. So I'm not against going for advice. I just don't have that one particular person. But my biggest educator is from failures. And when I fail at something and I don't do something right, I'll give you a perfect example. So 2013, and I talked about this a while back when I had a little bit of a conference. April 2013 was the darkest time of my life.
Why is that?
I lost my job, got fired. I lost the fight on Ultimate Fighter, and the UFC cut me. And my wife asked for a divorce.
All on the same day?
No, not on the same day, but close enough.
Jeez.
Yeah, all within 2 to 3 weeks from each other, and it all kind of fed off each other a little bit, just a little bit. The fact that why I got let go from my job, it was a reason why my wife asked for a divorce. It was my behavior and the things that I was doing that caused me to lose both. But you got to understand my mentality at the time. I lost my job, lost my wife, and I lost the biggest opportunity in my life. You can't find, outside of death or some very bad sickness, like a tragedy that you can't come back from, you can't ask for a worse situation. Job, wife, and dream opportunity.
Yeah, it's kind of like your world coming crashing down.
It did. April 2013 taught me how to face failure.
Yeah.
You know what I did, bro?
What? After
crying a couple nights, and
tears, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did cry some tears, man. Yeah. But like, first thing I did, and I talked about this. First thing I did was I accepted the reality. Like I said to myself, this is happening.
How long did it take you to accept it, though? Took a couple days? It
took a couple days, depending on what situation. Some things I try to fight, when I cut, the UFC, when I got cut from that was like immediate because there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, it's true.
They cut me. When I got, fired from my job, the firing didn't happen automatically. They was like talking about putting me on suspension, but then, and I did end up getting fired. So I tried to talk my way out of that. And then even when I got fired, I tried to like talk my way back into it, but it was like, no, you're done. Like, you messed up. Yeah. There's no going back. And then obviously my marriage, yes, I tried to talk to my ex-wife and say, hey, let's work it out. Let's go to therapy. I know I messed up. And she was at her wit's end and was like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm checked out. Like, I'm ready to move on. But in all avenues, I had to, sooner or later, I had to accept the reality. I no longer work for 24 Hour Fitness. That's the job I was let go from. And most people know that. I'm no longer signed to the UFC, and I'm no longer going to be married to my ex-wife. So I accepted I accepted the reality. Next step, I took responsibility. At the time, I was mad. I was mad. I was mad at the situation at my job. Like I felt like I was being railroaded. I felt like there was overreacting. I felt like that, the situation the mistake that I made wasn't that big. Like guys, you can forgive me. We can make this work. It's not me, it's them. Y'all tripping. Okay, it's just not that big of a deal. Okay, I felt like, with my wife, like, come on, like I did all this for you and you gonna leave me? What? I was mad. And obviously the UFC, I was like, come on, man, you got people in the UFC right now that suck, and those guys are saying you're going to cut me. I know I'm way better than those fighters. But then I had to take responsibility. I lost the fight. I lost the fight. I was in the cage. I had opportunities to win, and that guy beat me. That was me. Wasn't my coach, it was me. I need to accept that responsibility. My job, I'm the one that screwed up. I'm the one that did not conduct myself professionally, and I put myself in a predicament that made me look bad and made the company look bad, which caused them to let me go. I did that. It wasn't them. I did it. And then, with my ex-wife, because of my actions on my job and the things that occurred, it hurt her. I hurt her feelings. I did not respect my marriage. I did not respect the situation. So I needed to take responsibility for all of that.
So before you got to the 3 steps.
Well, it's 4 steps.
Well, 4
4
steps.
I'll break down the 4 steps.
Before you got to that, I hear a lot of people deal with failure and stress and negativity in all different ways, right? Did you have any unhealthy habits that you turned to, like drinking? Or
No. And my current girlfriend loves that about me. She kind of loves that, maybe envious, and kind of hated about me too, because we had this conversation just recently, and we was talking about it, like how she handles stress and how I handle stress. The way I handle stress is I face it. I face it. I fight the problem. I don't run to drinking. I don't drink. Never drink. I got that from my father. I don't smoke. Never smoke. I don't go out and party. I have some other vices. Won't talk about that, but those things, I worked on too. So I'm not perfect.
Yeah,
but
no one is. Yeah.
but I don't look for other things to cover up my problem, to say, well, I'm gonna run to this instead of dealing with the problem. The problem is going to be there. It's going to be there.
After you get done with whatever that is,
it's
still going to be there.
And a lot of times when you run away, what you just did is created more problems, or made that problem fester and get bigger. Okay? So step 1, I accepted the reality. Step 2, I took responsibility for my actions. Step 3, which is probably the most important, I did a self-assessment. I said to myself, what is it about me that caused these things to happen? Where am I weak at? And do I want to continue life making these same mistakes? So here's what I did. For my fight, I used to train myself, essentially. I was training myself, and I was training with guys that I was training. Okay? And I was like, I love those guys. They pushed me to where I could make it to the UFC. But now that I'm at that level, I need a little bit more. And everybody respected. So I wasn't like, being disrespectful.
I'm too good for you.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody said, yeah, you need to move on. So I started driving to Denver, training at this gym called Factory X. Nothing but UFC fighters, Bellator fighters, Glory kickboxing champions, like just really monsters. And then I got a coach, Mark Montoya. Before I was kind of like my own coach. Okay, I kind of said I do whatever I want to do. Now I had somebody telling me what to do. Okay, so he broke things down for me, and he told me that I need to do this and do that. I still have my team here in the Springs. I still have my boxing coach. I have my boy Dave, and I still have my training partners. But three days out of the week, I drove to Denver, which is like an hour and a half drive, to train and get some coaching. That took my game to another level. Next step I did, with my ex-wife, I gave her the divorce she wanted, and allow her to move on. And we have we're actually really good friends. We co-parent very well, and then when I took from the problem I created, I learned that I need to respect myself a little bit more. Not just respect the person I'm with, but I need to respect myself a little bit more. Because certain things you just can't do because it's going to make me look bad. Like, I was embarrassed by my actions. Especially when people started to find out that some things you just can't hide. Okay? And then also my job. And that goes a little bit, go hand in hand with my ex-wife. I have to maintain a level of being a professional. And I got to conduct myself no matter what. So I address these issues, and I found my weaknesses, and I say I'm gonna stay away from this. I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna add more of this. I'm gonna take this away. I'm gonna try to add, divide, multiply, and make me a stronger and better person. Step 3, okay? Assess the situation. Okay. Now, once you assess the situation, you figure out what's wrong. You come up with a little bit of a roadmap and a game plan. What do you got to do? Step 4.
Put it into action.
Implement. Execute. That is one that people also fail at. They come up with these great plans
and then fail to execute.
And they fail to execute.
Yep.
It looks really good on paper. It's like for instance this podcast, right?
Yeah. It'd be great just to talk about.
Yeah. It is. I told people all the time, hey man, I'm gonna start this podcast and I'm gonna do this in 2018, and I just talked about it. But if I didn't go out and buy the equipment, if I didn't contact you, but you came into the gym.
Yeah, I just walked into the gym.
You walked into the gym. You walked into my life, and I just knew.
Yeah.
I just knew you was gonna be it for me. You like. I looked into your eyes.
Got that sparkle.
Yeah, and I was like, brother. I was like, love at first sight, and I was like, it was just perfect.
We need to do a podcast together.
Yeah, and then here we are. We came on the game plan. We still gonna make some adjustments. We got a lot more things to do, but we did it. So executing the game plan, okay, is so important.
Yeah.
So just rehashing, the 4 steps dealing with failure. 1. Accept the reality. You failed. It did not work. It didn't work.
Yep.
Okay. Don't go around telling people like, nah, it's actually going pretty good. No, it failed. Like, accept it. Okay. 2, take responsibility. Understand that why it failed, and how did you affect that, and what can you do better, which goes into the 3rd one, which is assess the situation. Look for the weaknesses. Okay, and figure out how can you make your weakness your strength, and make your strength even stronger.
Yep, and then execute.
And then execute the game plan. The 4 steps.
So we've been going for almost an hour now.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, 47 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you got any parting thoughts on this?
Just those 4 things. Okay, so failure, the secret to success is failure. Guys, remember that. Okay? There's no great person, a person of success, a person that you probably look up to, a person you probably like, man, I wish I could have his life or her life, that haven't met some level of failure.
There is so for anyone watching and might be interested, and if you're a reader or you listen to like audiobooks or anything like that, there's a great book by John Maxwell. It's called Failing Forward. Really, really great book to take a look at. It's not endorsed or anything.
Yeah, that's one thing I need to do more. I need to read more. I need to read more, man.
I'll tell you what, man, audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks is probably the way to go, right?
I can't sit down. There are very few times I can actually sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
But I can listen on the drive or whatever.
The one book I read, it was I wish she didn't make me. She influenced me or inspired me to read it. Was the 4 Agreements. I have the poster on the board on the wall right there. My girlfriend, she talks a lot about personal development.
Yeah.
And she told me about this book and how it changed her life, and I read it, and it kind of had an effect on me. So I probably need to open up some more books, because you never know those secret gems inside those books.
Yeah, so I'm saying, Brian, Audible, it's great. Oh, and by the way, too, and if people don't know, the library, 21C or whatever, the Pike Street Library District, they got a bunch of audiobooks that you can just rent. Yeah. Yeah, you don't even have to pay. Audible's great, but if you wanted a free resource, library card, man.
That's all. So failure's good.
Yeah,
okay,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you have
going through it.
Yeah, it does suck going through it, man. But those 4 steps will help you, right? Those 4 steps, accept the reality, take responsibility, assess the situation, and then come up with a game plan, then execute the game plan. Simple stuff, man. And you just got to be honest with yourself.
Yep. And if anyone's lasted to the end of this podcast, I would love it, and we both would love it, if you guys put some examples of failure that you've had to overcome. Give a little bit of detail so it's not just so general. So we'd love to interact with you after we're done with the podcast. And then give us an idea for the next show. Whoever wins the next show, maybe we'll give them a prize or something.
Yeah, I think Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's a great day to do it.
Yeah. Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Because I'm doing 2 versions, right? So, like, I'm going to do one with my girl on Sunday.
Yeah.
And not going to be more like a relationship personal. Like, I love doing, like, podcasts with her. She's kind of funny. But, I like our dynamic, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you come up with an idea or a topic to talk about, if you choose it, you would definitely win something. I give you something from my sponsor, Muscle Farm, and I put something out there.
And I'll donate a book to it too.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yep. All right, cool.
Okay. Remember, hard work, bad decisions. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it.
See you guys.